So we're here with Dave Leduc. Leduc, I said it right. Nice French accent. And myself, Jonny Young, and Rob Donker. And
thanks for having me, boys.
Yeah, that's a pleasure. And if you don't know who Dave is, if I was to summarize it, he's just hard as nails. You know, he's the world's, I'm going to call it bare knuckle boxing for people who are watching, bare knuckle fighting.
Yeah.
You know, the most kind of extreme that is legally allowed. But you can maybe tell us in a snapshot a little bit more about that.
So basically, it's Burmese boxing. So the difference, it's still some people might not know. It's that you cannot only use your hands; you can use all your limbs almost. So all the painful limbs, like your legs, your kicks, your knees, your elbows, your hands, and the headbutts, which is the controversial part. So yeah, bare knuckle boxing is only hands. Burmese boxing is basically the brutal cousin of Muay Thai. For those that know Muay Thai, historically, all the Muay Thai champions that cross over to Myanmar, which is Burma, used to be known as Burma, they get brutally stopped by the ninth limb. So yeah, it's the real deal. Yeah.
What I find quite surprising is I'm looking at you here and I'm like staring at your face.
Yeah.
And I mean, I did some boxing.
Yeah.
And amateur.
Yeah.
Against 15-year-olds, and I had a broken nose. And
okay.
You've been fighting with your head, your elbows, and you're still looking pretty pretty good.
It's actually like it's a big part of my mental plan. A big part of my game is to be like the new generation Burmese boxer, because it's the guys, like, to be honest, they're like all fucked up. Excuse my French, but like face cut up, missing teeth. They're chewing like the betel nut. They're just like it's not pretty.
What?
The betel nut, it's from India originally, and it's like it makes your mouth red, and you spit red. If you go to like Dera or like other places, you can see some white splashes on the floor. It's called you chew tobacco, and it makes. They say that it makes your jaw more resistant to knockouts. I just say it fucks up your teeth, but yeah, they chew that, and like it's a big part of the culture in Myanmar. Everybody has like red teeth and red lips, because they chew that all day, even women. Anyway. They have they're pretty messed up. I jump in there. I have my wife. I have to support, and I want to make sure that I'm not too banged up when I'm older, right? So I make a point to use my distance properly and find ways to not get beat up. Because let's me and Rob are gonna fight. Let's say we go in the pocket, like close, and we just swing. He's gonna hit me. I'm gonna hit him.
Do it. Yeah.
But like it's normal. We're gonna hit each other. You're gonna catch me. I'm gonna catch you. It's gonna be a bloodbath. It's gonna be. I don't want that. I want to like sting like a bee. Fly like a butterfly. Like I like what Mohamed Ali said. So you want to not get a lot of damage, and I think that's the hardest part in bare knuckle boxing, because you're fucking fighting bare knuckle, right?
Yeah,
so you don't want to one jab and you can draw blood. So I make sure that I control the pace of the fight, and I go inside when I want to, because otherwise it's gonna be stupid. There's a lot of also other fighters that say, "Oh, I'm in like the 300 clubs. I said, what is that? I'll have 300 stitches." I'm like, okay, so you're proud of that? That's a loser quote, right? Yeah, but like no, I'm more proud of saying, I have no cuts, and I go back to my wife, and I'm ready for a photo shoot. I actually said that after a fight. I after the fight, they took me right after the ring, and I said, "Who wants to photo shoot? I'm ready now." Right? And we're fighting bare knuckle, so with headbutts. So yeah.
The culture around Lethwei, you said you want to be part of this new generation. Like, just as I said, seeing you now, no cuts or bruises, looking handsome. You're a gentleman. Like,
Thank you.
To you now, you seem like a really nice, sound guy. Like, what is the current culture there with them? Because I know you said it's quite brutish, chewing the betel nut and all that kind of thing. Yeah. What is the culture around it at the moment?
Good question. To be honest, I consider myself kind of a kind guy, in the everyday life. I actually have to psych myself up to go in the fight, because I don't like to hurt people in the real life. But this is a profession where two guys trained that want to fight to see who's the toughest. But the culture there, I'm actually considered a bit of a cocky and a bit of because of the Western thing, and I actually You know, I'm pacing myself for this. They're very, very humble. Most of the most humble and kind people I ever met in my life, to be honest, and Burmese people. You know, and you know, you might know a bit of the situation that's happening in the north. There's some troubles, you know.
Political stuff,
yeah, but to be honest, like they're so kind. They shake your hand and they bow their head up, and they you know, they always very polite. I think it's like if you repress that in a society, then they want, you know, they're very kind, but in the ring they're the most brutal in the world. You know, they repress that.
What I find interesting about that is it's kind of threw off a philosophy that I thought I had. Yeah.
Okay, what is that?
No, I was thinking, because I remember when I used to do a lot of karate and boxing and everything, and maybe it was just my excuse, but I remember like one of my friends, he was a world kickboxing champion. And I said the thing that made him, I mean, it was just when he was younger, but he didn't carry it on till he was older. And I kind of said, my philosophy was that I think he just didn't have that kind of killer edge, as in not a killer edge, but as in he didn't want to hurt people. You know, he went in it as sport.
Yeah.
And so my belief was like, maybe you just need to really enjoy hurting people in order to get to that level. And obviously you are at the top of your game, you know. You've how many world titles have you got now?
No, not 3. I'm going for my 4th.
Yeah, you're going for your 4th next week. And you know, so you just completely disproved that, you know, like you're not a violent person, you're a kind person, but obviously in the sport you're in, you have to, but as soon as that bell goes, you have to be violent.
Exactly. You're well said. I couldn't say it better. Like basically, like I think I mean, I have, like I said, I have to like psych myself before the ring. When I ring the ring bells or the referee says, "Okay, let's go," I actually talk to myself and I say, "Okay, Dave, it's now. Let's go, Dave. It's now," because you know he wants to hurt you, so don't let him hurt you, and blah blah blah. So it's a bit of a mental game. I know you guys want to talk about this, but yeah, it's. On another angle, I think that, you know, people with you know, big opposites as well, or like I say. You know, I have childhood traumas. You know, like you want to prove that in the ring. I don't know, but you're right. I guess I don't really enjoy hurting. It's just like I like to win. I like to not get hurt. So it's the other way around. I don't really enjoy. I just don't want me and myself to get hurt, and whatever happens. But if he wants to win on me, wants to humiliate me in front of my wife, my friends, the world, I don't want to let that happen. So it's mostly like a winner mentality instead of I want to hurt you. You know what I'm saying?
And what's interesting, just for people who are listening and they're not sure about the sport, is they might think, oh, well, then he probably just goes into a fight and he's tactical and he stands back just to try and win on points. But obviously the thing is, if your sport, there is no winning on points.
That's the thing.
It's knockout or it's a draw.
Yeah.
You know,
and you get like, and I said, I try to control the pace of the fight, but it's not that easy. You know, you get touched, you get clocked, you get bruises, you get stuff, but like, I try to control it more than the rest. Yes, there's no scoring system, and this is a big mentality change. And I'm happy that you guys want to talk about this, because most people ask the same questions over and over. In Muay Thai, for those that know, it's a bit more popular because 40 years, you know, it's been happening to the main world. But you can use all your body except the headbutts. And there's a scoring system. So the king of Thailand, or whatever, the tourism of Thailand, they said, okay, let's remove, because they're both Myanmar, Lethwei, and Thai boxing, they're both like 2,000 years old. You know, they've been fighting on the border and like warfare and everything. I think he did a good thing by like trying to make the country like famous, you know, so he basically removed the headbutts allowance in the fight and added gloves, like 8-ounce glove. I hate that. And removed, like he added the scoring system. So basically it completely changed the sport. And Lethwei is the only one that stayed raw. For those that don't know, Lethwei is from Myanmar, so it's the neighboring country, and it's still like untouched. It's KO only to win, like you said. So And for most people, it's like, what does it change? Well, it changed a lot, because let's say we're fighting together and we know that we can last 5 rounds, for example, together. You're going to kick me, you're going to score points. Kicks, for me, like I don't feel them as much. So I like to punch more, because if you have the choice to kick me, you can hurt me maybe after 3 rounds, right? You're going to chop my leg, you're going to fatigue me. But if you punch me, one or two punch, you're going to cut me, or you're going to draw blood or anything. So it changes the strikes in Lethwei. I don't know if you follow me a little bit. It changes the attacks that the guys want to throw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's one thing that we, someone who likes watching MMA, is, it seems like it's changing a bit. It seems like, to me, as in like, people are getting, because it's now becoming more of an entertainment sport. I feel like they're saying, try not to go at the ground too much.
Yeah,
people get bored, because I remember watching it.
True.
And like, they're wrestling again, let's go make a cup of coffee or something.
I like BJJ. I still train and often I like my ground, but I chose striking because, let's just stand in front of each other 15 minutes. Let's slam our bones together on our skull and let's see who's the toughest, There's no breaks. There's no, if you go on the floor, you get right back up and so there's way more like blood. So.
Take us back to like when you were very young. Like when did you first start to get into combat sports?
Okay.
And then take us through to when you decided like, wow, this is amazing. I really want to do that.
Okay, good question. Again, basically, I started at 17. After I played baseball before, and I started at 17, and in Canada, in Canada, and like a city like near Montreal, the cold place, minus 20 degrees. True. So basically, my coach knew about Lethwei, Burmese boxing, very briefly because it was featured on Black Belt magazine. It's like a famous magazine for martial artists, but he still it was only black and white videos on YouTube, not like it is right now. And he told me about it. I'm like, shit, I want to do it one day. So we started like doing headbutts, like just bare knuckle back sessions, stuff like that. But nothing very formal because I didn't know. I felt like very far, right? We're in Canada. It's 24-hour away to go to Asia. And at the time, it was still closed to the country. There was no tourism allowed almost. It was military ruled and everything. So I was like, how the fuck am I going to go there, right? So times passed. I decided to go to Thailand because it's way easier. There was gyms. It's like they opened the borders, like I said, right?
When did you go?
That's 2013. So I was 21.
Okay.
Yeah, and now I did my first fights, but to be honest, I never really embraced the Thai culture. Because they try to put you in that same box. Everybody fights the same. There's not many big differences. So my coach said, keep your essence. That's the best advice for any people watching this in bodybuilding and tennis and Lethwei or anything. Keep what works for you. And I had from my background, it was like from Kung Fu, a lot of spinning attacks, like spinning kicks, spinning back fists, spinning elbows, and unpredictable stuff, the GKD mentality, Jeet from Bruce Lee. A lot of words, but yeah. Anyway, he said, keep your essence. And I kept it, and I didn't want to, and I believe that gave me the edge to be different, right? If you want different results, you have to fight differently. You have to train differently. If you do the same thing, you're gonna have the same thing over and over again. So I'm happy I changed. I kept this. But the funny story that I don't tell often is in Thailand, in my the gym I was training, the manager was saying after one of my fights that I won, I was taunting my opponent, and he said, "Okay, don't do this. Change that," because instead of checking the kick means blocking with your leg. You have to, I was catching it and counterattacking right away. For me, it's way stronger, right? Instead of blocking and resetting, or catching and counterattacking right away. What's better, right? I can risk hurting.
I actually seen you do that in one of your fights last night, and I was like, man, that looked cool. I was trying to work out if it hurt the guy as much as it looked like it did.
The punch?
Yeah, you caught and it was like simultaneously, you caught and punched. Yeah. And it just looked amazing. Like I was like, oh yeah.
That was in Japan, yeah. But you see, that's exactly the one he said me to stop doing, right? And it's like, why? And now we fast forward a little bit. Now they're really I don't want to say it like I say they're really sucking my because they're like, oh, continue doing this, right? But anyway, it's just they said stop doing this, be more traditional. I mean, no, and thankfully I got the call to fight Lethwei after winning in Thailand, because my style was not fitting to fight Muay Thai, right? They always want to change me, and they pulled me out of tournaments because they said, oh, you don't how you say, I don't. It's not a good image for the gym because I'm not traditional enough. So they pull me out. They pull me out of the gym. Exactly. So then I got the call for Lethwei, and then I fought. At the time the current champion at my first Lethwei fight, he was undefeated, 36 fight or something, and it was my first ever. Very unexperienced in Muay Thai. Most guys that fight and they go in Lethwei, they actually have a lot of fight experience in Muay Thai. So at least they have a ring experience.
I think you said someone had to fudge your figures to get the fight. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah. They said I had 40 fights, but I had 10.
Oh, really?
Because if I fight a champion, they said, what if he does good? At least it's not going to be against. It's not going to be like an
shameful.
amateur. But the thing is, I was quite a beginner as well, right? So anyway, I managed to dominate the guy, disfigured the guy, which people didn't understand because he did not touch me. That's why I tried to use a different mentality to, instead of going there and just bang it up. I kick him away, push him away, and choose when I go in. It's a big mental shift in the culture right now. They've been closed up for many years, so they don't have that foreign add-on to the input. Exactly. So the future is very bright. If you have that pain threshold, because I think they have the best pain threshold in the world. They put cayenne pepper in their eyes to simulate the blood leaking, the blood leaking in the eyes, right?
So they get used to it.
Yeah, I love the Burmese culture because they're fucking strong-hearted and very humble. So it's a nice mix, a bit, I recognize that. So if you have that pain threshold and the technicality, it's gonna be insane.
It's really interesting that you touched on keeping your essence, which is obviously something that, like as you said, you cross into many different sports, many different.
Yeah.
Do you find there's any other areas in your life where keeping your essence has helped you propel your career, your relationships, anything else?
Okay, well said. I have a very specific, very original relationship with my wife. We're a bit. Some people might say we're crazy a bit. We like I say, I make a pact with her that I will never, and I'm not expecting everybody to be like us. We want to be never spend a night apart for the rest of our life. It's very hard because all my friends fighters, they fight in UFC everywhere around the world, in Asia. They always fly alone and they come back after a couple of days. So I actually say, I'm not going if you don't pay for my wife. In Japan, they always pay for, and it's something I said straight from the beginning, and they continue this, and that's for me, that's my essence or my values. I think life, again, it's weird coming from me, I guess, but I think life is about love. We all want love, right? Everybody wants to be loved. So I found my love, and I want to spend every day with her. You know what I mean? So I think it's my essence and stuff like that.
I need to say more stuff like this to my girlfriend.
I hope she watches that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think there's a lot of guys sitting there thinking like, man,
what the fuck?
No, there's an.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, I guess.
No, that's really cool. What I'm interested in as well is like, I don't know, I feel like as a human species, we often want to keep ourselves safe, and maybe it's the pussy inside of me, who's saying this, but like,
tell me,
so if you're boxing, you know that the other person's coming at you and he's got gloves on. He's not going to elbow you. He's not going to headbutt you. But you've obviously there's something inside you that's like, I used to box. If someone said, "How would you like to go to this culture where they put pepper in their eyes and they're going to headbutt you and elbow you in the face?" I'd be like, nah, I don't. But
and also, if you knock him out, he has a 2-minute break to come back. So if you want to win, you have to knock him out twice.
I like the word. Is it resuscitate him?
Yeah, it's a timeout.
Revive him. Yeah.
Yeah, very good question. So basically, I think I know exactly what to say. It's about a bit of a fear. I don't want to say, fear is a very powerful emotion, and if you have too much, it's not good. If you don't have it at all, like some of your friends said before, whatever you said, the guy didn't have it in it. If you don't have a little bit of fear, you're not in the right discipline. You're gonna get fucked. You're gonna get hurt. So just a good amount. And the best thing I could say is my coach, again, a lot of mental training. He's coming to my fight. I fly him for 3 days, $3,000 just to come in for 3 days, just to get the mental shift before the fight. Not even to get ready too much, just to talk to him, because he told me something before, and he always marked me. He said, in life or in fighting, especially, you want to, mostly in fighting, you want to be like a scared animal. I said, why? He said, a scared animal. If we found a injured raccoon right now, in the corner of the gym, and we want to help him or something, he's gonna fucking bite us, right? Or if we see like a bird with an injured wing, he's gonna peck us, like, get the fuck out of here, don't touch me, I'm hurt, right? Yeah. So basically, a scared animal is very dangerous. So if you have that little fear, and I always say like, okay, and I have goosebumps talking about it right now. I don't know why, but yeah, because I'm fighting soon. But yeah, I always imagine like, okay, he wants to hurt you, and I know that he you know, you have that little fear. He might cut you, he might hurt you, he might you know. So be ready. So, and I feel when I say that, my sense, and I do another thing to it, like I do a warrior cry. I don't want to talk too much about this, but it's basically I scream as loud as possible in a corner before the fight, and my eyes water, my hair fucking rises up, and I just psych myself up. I'm happy that he's going to be there to help me with this, but basically, I'm ready right now to go. It's like, okay, we're ready. It's called the warrior cry. We just scream, and then basically you can control that demon out, that scared animal. You bring it up. And you can bring it out and shake hands after, right? Like, be like, you know, that's, I think, the most powerful man. You know, a harmless man is not a dangerous man. You know, a dangerous man is a guy that's capable of hurting you, but has it under voluntary control. So you can control that emotion, that anger.
And where are you at mentally? Because obviously, you know, often the kind of the fighting sports we see is very commercial, and they'll put the certain guys on front of your screen, and it's very much like, you know, it's like everyone thinks like, you know, like someone like Conor McGregor, you know, he's on camera, I don't know what it's like internally, has this this real belief that he can only win, you know, and whether that's just put on or whatever, but because I don't know, to me, speaking to you, you're a champion, but you don't. It's like I don't see you constantly, like when you're walking around the gym, saying like, yeah, I'm gonna win. It's like, it's obviously something internally you have. As in like, so where are you mentally? Is it to you? Is it a sure thing? I've got this fight. I'm gonna win. Is it? I'm gonna go do my best, and then the best man will win on the day. Like, where's your? Because obviously you've got a winner's mentality, and I'm interested to see like what it is.
Well, I do like visualization. I don't really say it verbally. I don't talk about these things too much. I just like visualize, you know, my hands getting raised, and I go maybe for a run. I visualize a lot. I mostly, if I feel confident, if I visualize my strikes. For example, like when I run or I visualize, I imagine my punch landing on the face, or imagine my kick landing where I want to go. I imagine him falling down after a spinning elbow or something. So if I feel that I actually believe myself thinking it, then it's irrelevant to say I'm going to win, or because saying that you want to win without actually knowing how, for me, is like a bit doesn't work. I have to see like, okay, my hand flows. So it's a lot of mostly like I imagine the hand of the ref lifting my hand. So like I feel it. So if you can feel it, then it's going to happen.
How would you deal with because something like myself and Rob, we very much now over the last couple of years of working together, we thrive on positivity. So we always try and make sure that if we're talking about something, we talk about the positive. We don't like to imagine the negative outcomes, you know. So how do you deal with if let's say you're lying there in bed and you just kind of a thought comes in, like, what if I lose? Like, how?
It happens, those intrusive thoughts, and it's a good question. They kind of stay sometimes for very short, very longer sometimes, but then I guess I forget them, and I just replace them by like I'm gonna punch him. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna get him. So, and if I'm gonna get him, I'm gonna win. So I don't really say. I say like win. Yeah, I repeat the word win sometimes, but again, it's very impersonal for me to answer your question.
I really like how you mentioned how instead of just thinking of winning, how. Like, the same as, you know, you can't go from destination A to B in a car by just pushing the accelerator. You also have to steer. You also have to change gear. You know?
True.
Unless you're driving off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But kind of touching on that as well. Do you feel that sometimes, because I think we all go through this in life anyway, do you ever have periods where you're really on top of your game, where you just feel like unbeatable, and you have other times where you feel, you know, a little bit more vulnerable, you know, like a little bit more, you know, okay, there is a chance that I may, you know, make my win.
I guess could happen. Yeah, good question. It's mostly like I had some moments of very like just lack of energy, lack of motivation. We can all maybe call that depression. I don't know, depressive thoughts. Like I was like, I don't feel like training. I just like because it was getting routined, and basically, but yeah, sometimes like okay, this is gonna be a tough fight. This is gonna be a dangerous fighter. So let's just like, and I was just repeating how I'm gonna win. And very good question. I was repeating it.
Do you feel that do you have like a network of support and of people who actually get you through those lulls where you maybe don't feel like training, or maybe you don't feel like having your nutrition on point?
Yeah.
Do you find that that's something you can solve yourself, or
Yes.
do you need the right people around you?
I need my wife to like, she's my psychologist, she's my dietitian, she did everything, and also my coach, since he lives far away in Canada. I talked to him and he says the right things as well, like let's go, so by message. But yeah, my circle is very small, and my close confidant is my wife, obviously, and she says the right thing, to like, you're gonna win, you're the best, you're the most amazing. So like I just, okay, let's go, and I want to make her proud too.
Yeah, and you talk about your coach in Canada a lot. Do you feel that talking to him is the only thing that you can do, or because for example, like there's a lot of people who go on YouTube, or they'll find like motivational things or techniques to use on YouTube, that kind of thing. Do you feel like having a personal mentor is more powerful than having just information?
Yeah, 100%. Like information is good, and like video motivation, I used to watch a little bit, but not like as a big part. It's a good complementary. The most important thing is to have like a mentor, I believe, and I always had one, and I always had him, and I had like maybe a couple other ones, but from different aspects. But yes, you need to have somebody that you can rely on, that can always pump you up 100%. Yes, knows you and knows your weaknesses and your strength, and knows the right thing to say to you. If they're watching this, they should find somebody, even if they have to pay them, to motivate them.
And where are you, like, let us say, because what I find extremely interesting is the fact that I kind of said the same thing when I spoke to Eddie Hall last week. Is if I was the world's strongest man, I'd walk around with a badge on, just in case anyone forgot, and maybe introduce myself as the world's strongest man. And obviously, I don't know if it's because of the effect of the Burmese culture, or if it's just something that's inside you, but I find it amazing how humble you are, and how that it's just, you don't walk around here like no one would walk around and be known by your arrogance, or because you're making people know that you could kill everyone with your bare hands in this gym. You're very it's very modest and humble.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Exactly.
Yeah, and it's just like, where are you as in, like, so do you kind of, are you, like Ali said, I'm the greatest, and obviously.
But to be honest, like I kind of do this like online as my persona, and I believe it too. I say that as well in my team. Like I tell them what to say as well. So like like I'm the king of Lethwei, and I know it, and I know what I am and everything. So it's cool, but. I have a part of me that's a bit uncomfortable with this, and I don't like to. And I always, I think like self publicity is like no publicity. You want other people to do it for you. So I wouldn't. I'm not comfortable walking around and say, if somebody wants to tell, oh, okay, cool, they can say. But I don't live for other people, and like I live for me. But yeah, good question. Online though, the Burmese people actually think I'm quite the opposite of this, because I there was no publicity, there was no promotion on Lethwei. It's very humble, so even the fight, they shake their hands, so it's very, very kind. I do the opposite. I try to bring a showmanship to the sport, which there's none. So but
Do you feel like having a persona, especially digitally as well, is giving value to you and your brand personally, but also to Lethwei in general? Yeah,
100%. I'm sure some people think I'm the biggest asshole and everything, but like I say, it's all real stuff. It's like, it's a part of me. Basically, it's not a persona. It's a part of me that I just like not repress, but don't show that often. Like it's there, but I actually feel more comfortable, like writing text online and being very provocative, because in real life, like I said, I'm more reserved, I think.
Well, I mean, like, let's think about when Conor McGregor and Mayweather are going to have a fight.
Yeah.
It was very much like Mayweather was saying, "I'm the king of boxing," or whatever, which and he did beat Conor McGregor, but Conor McGregor was kind of like mocking him in a way, as in like, "Look, you want to stick to your Queensberry rules, then I'll fight you in them because you couldn't come into my world," which is kind of like MMA. So obviously, I don't know where what the mentality is in it. Like, you are like, we don't need these gloves,
Yeah,
we,
exactly.
we don't need to restrict certain limbs.
No new rules.
So where's your kind of mentality in terms of, I mean, I don't know if you want to call Conor McGregor out now, but like, as in, like, where's your mentality in terms of people
He's
who fight
a small
Lethwei
man. He's a small man. We're not
MMA?
even in the same category. He's a small boy.
Yeah.
He's a good. I like because he fights kung fu as well. He has the kung fu background, but he's half my weight. So.
But how would you like? As in, let's just say someone your weight who's let's say the best at mixed martial arts, as in, like, which is but obviously you're both in the same room. Let's say you're both in the same bar. Like, who in your head is the alpha? Like, who is like?
And that's a very good question. And for me, it's like I said, I like my ground. I train it, and just for real life, I like to be ready in case. As mixed martial art, it's a very good thing, but it's a good thing for one-on-one thing. Because I said that before. Let's say we're in a street fight in a bar, and I go and he double legs me, and we're together, and there's people around. He's gonna get kicked in the face by the other my team, right? So it's a very dangerous thing to go on the ground in a street fight. So that's why I think if you have a certain amount of takedown defense, the best thing to learn is Lethwei, because it's bare knuckle, they're headbutts. They don't master mixed martial art. They don't master the headbutts. They're afraid of it as well. Some people say they want it, but. It's more all out in a street fight. All the ones that I've done, it was elbows, it was throat gouging, it was eye poking, it was head, it was this, and the few, if it goes on the floor, he gets right back up right away, or the other one gets clocked with a soccer kick in the face, right? So it's very dangerous. I believe that. I take a lot of pride in being confident in real life, and I'm the silverback wherever I go, and if it's a matter of security, a matter of defense, it's first of all, I'm confident in my abilities on the ground. I'm confident in my abilities especially in the real world, and not in the ring as well. You can try to take me down. Like, I actually did some pads with another Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion. He's a grappler, and then we did some pads together. And I was doing the headbutts together, and I was teaching how to headbutt and do the elbows. And at the end of the combination, he tried to double leg me, and I just guillotined him. Guillotine, it's a choke. So he's like, I said if so. Most of the times in street fight, it's gonna be hands. That's why they call it a bit of the art of street fighting a little bit. It's mostly hands and close combat. Let's say I just think about a fight in a bar I had once. I didn't do many, but in the bar, it was in a corner of a bar. It was very fast, and I remember it was a big elbow, and then he boom, and then a knee to the body, and he fell down, and just like. There's not a lot of. There was no space. There was no place right now to ground and pound. There was no space right in that spot for like kimuras and like triangle chokes and arm bars. There was no time for that. It was straight up fight. Let's fight.
It seems like the most to me, like I say. I mean, it seems like the most closest thing to just no rules fighting to the death. Like exactly. Gladiator style.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, also in Lethwei, you can do all the takedowns except the double legs, the frontal double leg. You can do suplexes, you can do body locks takedown, you can do a lot of throws and sweeps. So it's basically the most exciting, sport without the breaks on the floor, like you said. So you can go on the floor and then we get right back up into the action. You can hurt the guy by throwing him on the head and get right back up after that. So for me, if you do Lethwei, and you do a bit of jiu-jitsu on the ground on the side, and you feel confident with this, then I think you're an animal.
What I like is as well that you said before we started recording was that you said to someone find me any guy, even if it's 150 kilos, like I'll fight him. And that's obviously, in boxing and MMA, there's not, it would never happen, and that's what's I find crazy about yourself. It's in like,
it becomes like a pussy thing. People they don't fight if there's not the same weight, and some people cancel the fight if the guy misses weight. Like, come on, like we're fighting. Since when does this warrior mentality leave the martial arts? Like it's supposed to be a gladiator sport. Like if it was in Rome back in the days, there was no weigh-ins. The guy was probably 10 kilos more, 5 kilos less. It doesn't matter. Let's bang it out. Let's use the toughest, right?
Even the original, even like the original kind of mixed martial arts fights. There was no way. Hoyce Gracie days. There was like. I was watching the videos, and they're fighting giants, and it's moved away from that again, whether it's to become more commercial or whatever. And that's why I think that there is people are still interested in going in the traditional, not all these rules and regulations, because at the end of the day, the fact that you're saying headbutting's controversial, we're watching fighting. We're watching two men beat the crap out of each other. So it's like you can put all these rules and everything, but we're watching because we want to see men fight,
Exactly. And I think that's it's one of the oldest things in the world. Let's say there's a fight outside right now. Even if there's a grandma walking, she's gonna watch. She's gonna watch. She's go, there's a fight. It's like it's inside of us. And she would fight somebody if somebody would attack her little granddaughter too. It doesn't matter who you are. I hope. Otherwise, you're especially for guys. If you don't have that in you, then because my grandfather always said, it's actually he said my coach said that is always if you're not a man. How can I say that? Start again. He said that his grandfather always said at the table, "You're not a man if you don't know how to fight." And that was a bit harsh, but at least defend yourself. So my point is, I'm just surprised that it's leaving martial arts, that willingness to fight anybody anytime. I'm sure there are some guys that have it. A lot of guys that actually don't care if the guy doesn't miss weight, but for me, it shouldn't even happen. If you're there at that level, you should have that killer instinct, right?
Well, that's what when I was speaking to Eddie Hall, he was saying he potentially would quite like to try an MMA fight, but for him to even get into the heavyweight category, he'd have to cut about 40 kilos,
exactly. But you can maybe go to Japan and stuff like that where they allowed more. They allowed more. So you would have to lose weight because they should have an open weight category. Just doesn't matter because even heavyweight has a limit in UFC, I think. So.
Lethwei itself. Yeah. You've seen it come far since you kind of joined in. How do you envision it going?
Okay.
Naturally. Itself? And how do you envision it going with your kind of ambassadorship for the sport?
Good question. I it's been since 2016, and a lot of it's been growing the mainstream attention for news media's it's been amazing, and now I'm getting Fox News Asia coming to the next fight. They're gonna promote it and everything. So. Basically, what I actually want to retire quite soon in a couple fights. I don't want to fight forever. I think I can bring more as an ambassador than just fight. A lot of guys can fight. They've been fighting for 2,000 years old, and the sport is not more known, right? So I can actually do this. And what I'm thinking is to I'm doing an online academy for Lethwei. So because I get messaged every day, I want to learn from you. How do you do this? How do you do this around the world? So I think I can do a couple videos that actually can help everybody around the world without being physically with them. But as for the sport, I think it's not going to be accepted everywhere in the world. Canada, Muay Thai is still illegal, so imagine Lethwei, right? And with no gloves, no rules, timeout and headbutts. No way it's going to be allowed in my hometown, in my whole country. France, Muay Thai still with padded elbows. Lethwei won't be accepted there. So I don't think it's a pre-requirement for Lethwei to be sanctioned everywhere in order to be world famous, and it's already world famous, but to be worldly accepted, and people will travel to Myanmar to learn it. So my goal is to want to open a big gym there. I support a small gym there right now myself, but I want to open a big one, like a big academy down the road. And but like Japan is really picking up. There's been 10 events or 9 events in Japan of Lethwei, like pure rules with they fly the whole federation of Myanmar, so it's really good. New Zealand wants to have shows, so I think a couple badass countries will have the shows, and cool that the real countries, not just saying shit, and the rest will just like want to learn it. There's gonna be gyms maybe that are gonna have it inside. So instead of having events, they'll have gyms. That's how I envision it. That's how I envision it. They have gyms, you can learn from it. If you want to have like amateur shows, well, it's not really the way if it's amateur, right? Because you have gloves, you can do the headbutts and you can do knees. So it's not amateur is basically like kickboxing or like amateur Muay Thai. So, and the other thing will be, people will just travel the world to go train it and to go see it, whatever it is.
But I think as well, what you've done is, one thing that was again of interest to me when I spoke to Eddie Hall. It wasn't that the fact he was world's strongest man; it was the fact he was the first human being when everyone thought it was impossible to lift 500 kilograms. Okay. Is what fascinates me about Roger Bannister. First man to break 4 minutes, the 4-minute mile. After that, lots of people did it, and but it's that going
That's
against
amazing.
the grain. And what you've done is. Obviously, were you the first non-Burmese fighter ever? Is that?
Yeah, the first non-Burmese fighter to win the golden belt.
To win the golden belt.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's obviously going to do something to the, because they it probably would have started getting to the point where they thought it wasn't even possible.
I know.
So it's always going to be a sport that could never really properly go global if it's only one country that's winning it. Now that you've done that, you've kind of. You've broken a 2,000-year-old tradition.
Exactly. That's cool, and it's not been easy, right? It's like I've been like, even now there's some people that say get out of my country. That there's always gonna be haters everywhere. There's some people are like, fuck you, die. Like it's crazy.
Really?
But like. If for every hater you have 10 followers, so it's okay. My Dad Renardi, I was in a seminar in Columbus, Ohio, and I was sitting with him. He said, "Dave, my goal." He's the founder of Success Magazine,
really?
and his mentor was Jim Rohn. I don't know if you guys know.
Yeah.
So he's well known, and he said, "Dave, my goal in life is to get as many haters as possible." And I found it like weird coming from a guy with a suit. He's like he's super well known success. He's like, "Yeah, I want haters," and he was like, "That's cool." He's like, "Why?" So because like I said, every haters that I have, I'll have 10, 20 times more lovers or followers. And that's come from my wife. She said, every haters that you have, with one good action, eventually you can switch it to a lover. And the cool thing about haters, and I'll go back to your question after, is that let's say you have I really hate you, and I'm gonna go watch every post you do on Instagram. I'm gonna see it. I'm not gonna like it.
Please don't.
I'm gonna say like I'm gonna go like it. I'm not gonna follow you, but I'm gonna go like it. I'm gonna maybe comment or I don't know. A follower, or just a normal guy, a friend of your high school, for example, is going to be, I'm going to once in a while go on your page. Oh, cool. I'm happy for you. Cool. Who you want more? I want to have, and I want to have that guy that's like, daily. And again, exactly. And he hates you. He's going to comment and everything. But then once you go give some donations to a hospital one day, you know what? He's actually a good guy. So he's going to you transform him into a lover. So the goal is to get basically talk bad as long as you talk about it. But
Touching on that part, I saw a few videos of you working with some of the villages in Myanmar. And give us a little bit more information on that. And do you find that doing these kind of philanthropic things help you to kind of balance your kind of life a little bit?
Well said, but basically, like I said, it's not been easy to be accepted at first. The first fight, they were throwing bottles on the ring. It was like a little bit, and he said, "Okay, now guys, be careful." Even though they're super kind, I don't know why they said that, but he said, "Be careful when you go eat in the street. Maybe some haters are gonna try to poison you." I'm like, "Wow, okay, we're in some real deal right now." There's 55 million people in that country, and I know some people probably hate me to death because I come, but I'm like, "Fuck, guys, I'm with you. I want to help the country. I want to bring tourism to the country so you make more money." So like I'm all, it's all. I think they're lucky to have somebody that actually cares. It could have been, okay, now I beat you, bye. So no, I embrace the culture, but I think I didn't do this to be. I did it because I wanted to, and I wanted to live it. So I went like far in the villages and see that even Lethwei is alive there. The kids are doing headbutts, and they don't even understand a word of English. But I put my hand like this, and he does. You know, so yeah, like that's cool. But yeah, I did it, and I really enjoyed it to.
Yeah, what's because obviously we've seen that, and it does seem that you're giving back to the community, and you're doing stuff with charity, and you know how in terms of, because you've reached the pinnacle of your sport. You know, you've got going for your 4th belt next week, and you know you've defended your title. You haven't just took it; you've defended it. You know, so you've kind of
take that, McGregor, bro. You didn't defend it 5 times last year, so that's actually one of the reasons why I didn't fight for a long time, like 6 months. If I fight in August now, it's gonna be like 7 months since my last fight last December, so 7 months break, just like that because events or like this, but. It felt good because I was actually getting a bit motivation after 5 title defense last year. I was like, it was so redundant. Every 2 months, okay, now fight, 2 months break, fight, 2 month break, fight, and like, I was like, whoa, and my hands were getting banged up. Like I was actually pained.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you go to fight for a title, you know, like it's got to be more exciting than when you're defending a title.
I'm fucking hungry right now. Like I want this, and there's an added incentive. It's the event. It's the 3rd Lethwei World Championship. So I fought the first one, my first fight, and I disfigured the guy, but it was a draw because there was no KO.
What do you mean disfigured?
Like he was all fucked up. Yeah, he was like fucking bloody, and and then the second one was against American Cyrus Washington last year in August, and again like he was I cut him like big time, like a Grand Canyon. He had a big knee, and then he was running away the whole fight, so I couldn't finish him. And then so 2 draws, because if there's no KO, it's a draw. But like, yeah, it's domination. And then so basically, it's this event. It's the 3rd year in a row, and I need that KO. I want that fucking KO. If I get that KO, I get the belt.
Just for people, because at this point, I know if I was watching, I'd be like, wait, how do I watch this? Just throw that in there, because
if they want to watch, they can see on Lethwei World on Facebook. It's very hard to watch. Like, there's no stream. It's gonna be it's live on national TV in Myanmar, like, you know. But there it's gonna be maybe a Facebook stream. So go on Lethwei World, they can watch it.
So the pressure is on our videographer to get this up and ready in a couple of days.
Yeah, exactly. But so yeah, what was the other question? You said.
So it's more about, as in, like, so you've kind of you've pretty much completed, and I'm pretty sure you're going to win this title as in next on the 19th.
Yeah.
So it's like, obviously you're now doing some stuff with the community, with the charity, and trying to grow the sport, trying to grow the tourism. As in, what's kind of essentially, how important, first of all, is giving back to you, and what's the you know in 50 years time, 60 years time, when you're on your deathbed, what do you want to look there and say, like, yeah,
hopefully longer than that. My deathbed is in.
Well, actually, if you're part of this culture, it's probably like 120 years old or something. But like, what do you want to look back and say? Yeah, I did what I wanted to do. What's like what's the ultimate goal for you now?
Well, to be perfectly like at peace, I would like to just like be relaxed on an island with my wife, you know, and that's my goal. And I'd like to be to just be Lethwei, be accessible to everyone, either via like an online academy, but by 60, 70 years from now, I hope there's gyms everywhere and there's events other than Japan and Myanmar, you know, because there's been one in Slovakia, but it was on a super fight. So like, I'd like to have more events, a bit more to other countries and federations across the world, and to make it more accessible and allow people to actually, like, I get messages every day, they want to fight Lethwei, they want to transition, and that makes me really happy. They want to transition from Muay Thai to Lethwei. And again, I must look like the biggest hater of Muay Thai. I'm not a hater, I just like Lethwei more. And I'm happy when people actually recognize, because it is the most effective and brutal striking combat art in the world. So I'm happy that people know that.
With that though, it's got to be hard to get not get people to sign up, but get people to like, you know, for example, if I was a 12-year-old kid and I went back and I went, Mom, I'm inspired, I want to get into sport. Oh, brilliant young Jonny.
I want to do Lethwei.
I want to do lifting. Oh, that sounds nice. What is it? She's gonna be like, no.
But the thing is, you can train it. There's a way to do headbutts on the pad. You just touch it and you visualize it. It's basically you're kicking, punching, elbowing. To train it is not that. It's just like a normal training, right? But then if you want to fight it, that takes balls, and that's not for everybody. Yeah, I understand that. But I think we're in a world that there's a lot of. I'm gonna get so many haters. But in a world that we're seeing a lot of like the pussification of men and like I don't exactly like the I don't know, so many trans and like oh my god where's the manhood going, right? And I don't want to go in there, but like I think we're gonna see a big thing that guys are gonna want to rematch.
Well, that is like. You can't feel like a pussy when this is your sport. You know what I mean? As in, if you could go sit in a room full of sports people, and you could openly just say, "You're a pussy. You're a pussy." I fight bare knuckle.
I think we have to respect everybody that steps in the ring. That takes balls to step in the ring because the stress, the adrenaline, but. Yeah.
Is there anyone? I'm just trying to be controversial now.
Yeah.
Is there anyone like a fighter who you feel is too arrogant? Because you are like, you're the world champ. Mm-hmm. Who you'd look just. Maybe when you've retired, you'd like to come out of retirement just to try and shut them up. Is there anyone like you just think, I'd just love to knock him out?
To be honest, there's one, but it's not going to be a very selling point because people don't know him, but it's one guy in Burma. He's the former champion before me, the open weight champion, and they actually want me to fight him, Scoop, in the January next year, so like soon. And I think after this, like I said, I want to retire because I've settled all my feuds, and I've fought a Muay Thai champion, Taekwondo champion, a kickboxing champion from France. What else? I can continue for 10 years. It's not going to bring me more happiness or more money or whatever. So, but this guy, he's been calling me out since the beginning. I think because he's sour that he's still active, and he used to have my belt. So he's called Shaw Shark. He's Shark because I guess he does a lot of headbutts in the clinch. He likes the blood. All right, I like blood more than you, and I want to fight him. So
Shaw Shark.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a pussy.
He called me out so after one of his fights. Like, come on, bro. Like he's smaller than me, and I mean I don't even know what he has to what tool I can possibly have to hurt me. I'll destroy him. And it's a new era. Like I said, it's a new generation. Like he was the champion, then he got beat, and then I beat this guy. So you're out, bro. And the thing is, I know they try to make, I don't know if it's on its purpose, but they want me to travel all the way to the 300 kilometers. Doesn't take 6 hours usually, right? It's 300 kilometers in Myanmar roads in his village, and they say you'll need security to go there. And there's probably no Wi-Fi, no internet. And he's like, yeah, you'll fight Shaw Shark in his village at the festival of the New Year. So I'm like, okay, so that's like, it's like putting everything against in order to fight, So what, and I need security, and I go with my wife there, obviously. So it's gonna be, is that it? Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. But I actually want to do this, and they put the stakes pretty good, so I can't really refuse. We'll see.
I've actually got a question as well. It's slightly off topic, but there's obviously going to be people watching who live in Dubai or the Middle East area.
Yep.
Like, what was your reason to come to Dubai?
Oh, good question. Well, it's because I got a seminar offer. I do seminars, so I got somebody to one of the gyms in Dubai that said, come do a seminar. I'm like, yeah, let's do this. So they flew us, and I just fell in love with the place. My wife especially, because it is poor Myanmar, where we're living in Myanmar. It is third world, and she's Russian, and she likes nice things and everything. So I'm like, she saw this. I'm like, Dave, I want to move here. We were like, it was raining season in Myanmar. It was not, and there was a lot of power cutting. I love the place, but it's not the best place to live, especially with a model wife. She doesn't. She wanted Dubai, so she made me do a deposit. By the time I left the seminar, I already paid a deposit for my condo, and we moved. But like I said, we do a lot of trips back and forth, and there's no really need to stay there permanently in order to do what I need to achieve, right? And actually, I think I can achieve more right now with the visibility of Dubai and the connections. And I wouldn't do a podcast in Myanmar right now. I was actually alone, training myself, very solitary. and I was a bit wasting my time. Here I can actually train people and promote my art. So yeah, we basically, because we like Dubai, it's
a
pretty
great
good.
platform for you to kind of spread the word from Dubai. It's like a global hub.
Yep.
So to speak.
Exactly, and a lot of connections and everything. So, yeah, I like it.
Do you see yourself staying around here for a while?
Yeah, I think I'd like at least a year minimum, because now again I'm thinking about going to maybe Cyprus. I don't know, like to relax, and because I want to, like, I don't know, for people in the watch this, I don't know. Maybe have kids. It's like concrete jungle a little bit, so we'll see.
Yeah,
But I like it. I'm enjoying every second of it, and I want to maybe more. We'll see.
Do you find that now living in Dubai? Because I know a lot of people who live and work in Dubai. It's always very energized.
Yeah.
And you're always doing things from crack of dawn till late.
Yeah.
Do you find now going back to Myanmar?
It's gonna be a change.
Appreciate it a little bit more because you're only there for a short period. It's quiet. You can reflect a bit.
True.
And then you go back to the humdrum as well.
We'll see about this, because we'll see now. There's floods there right now, so we'll see if it's cool. But yeah, I will enjoy it. Just the calm. There's more green, more and everything, and obviously the Lethwei culture. So I'm gonna fucking love it. But yeah, it is less like high pace. It is high, yeah.
Another question just about like again, because I'm very interested in your mindset, being a champ who went for the extreme, and if obviously you've got to have balls to do what you do, so and when the fact that you're willing to fight anyone, and you obviously have the fear, but you kind of embrace the fear, you kind of it's like you see the fear as an opportunity, that isn't like that. You're making your money.
It helps you,
on doing this, on doing something that's really extreme. Is there any way, because obviously, now I'm starting to see that you're working on opening gyms, you're launching a website. So obviously, like for the normal person to buy who's maybe doing business and everything, fear can be something that stops them. So when you compare getting into a ring with someone who wants to smash your skull open to like taking a business risk, is it like, do you just, when it comes to business, like is there any fear there in business, or is it just
okay? Well, the best thing is just like to jump to it, because we're all gonna die one day, and like it's just like there's nothing really matters. Just do it and try your best. But yeah, to be honest, I think again it's important to have a little bit, like, because for me at least, I don't know if it works for them, but that little fear pushes you to achieve more. So like, if she or he's afraid of like failing at his business, it's gonna make him take extra precautions and make sure that he surrounds himself by the right people, work harder, and so you need to have a little bit of thing.
And that's the thing, because obviously you'd have to, and I think it's probably about getting that balance right, because let's say, for example, you've been offered a fight with a 150 kilo guy. Yeah. If you were really gonna analyze it too much and say I need to be really ready, I might need to get myself up to 120 kilos. In which case, like there's going to be a point where you kind of prepare, but then obviously with someone like yourself who just is like, I'm in.
But to be honest, to a certain degree, after a certain amount of weight doesn't really matter to me, because like we've seen in Japan, big against small and everything. First of all, they're slower. And you're faster because you're a bit small, you're a bit lighter weight, and I'm at my optimal weight. I'm 80 around, like I feel faster, and of course if they hit you, they hit a bit stronger. Like I said, I'm gonna fight somebody at 150 or something, 120. The game plan is just like, first of all, you wanna tire him. I'm not. It doesn't change my game plan. Doesn't make it harder. Doesn't make it more scary. It's the same thing. Actually, I think a smaller guy like 80 or 90 is more dangerous than a guy at 170, 180, 150 kilograms, because he's faster and more energized and more quick, and can do more things. Can more maybe bigger kicks and faster shit. So when we talk about this, it looks scary because the weight. The weight doesn't. I'm not a big guy, like it doesn't really matter. It's actually it can be detrimental to your art, to be honest. So
I think as well, we're used to kind of Hollywood and and old stories, David and Goliath, and when Rocky's fighting Ivan Drago, it's always like it's always the big guy that
but
seems to be
it's only
dominating,
exactly. I was a manager of a club in Canada. I was from 18 to 21. I was the manager, and I was like in a suit, and I had my bouncer, my team, and they were all 300 pounds, I don't know, like 150, 180 kilograms, a big guy, black guy from Miami, and they were, and it's just like, and it's only a deterrent. People have to understand, if yes, they can push you around, they have more leverage to push you around, but like I had also a guy that I hired, he was big motherfucker, and there was a fight that broke up, and one of my bus boys, 100 pounds, I don't know, like, the guy the black guy just basically tried to grab the guy on the shoulder, and the fucking buzz boy grabbed him by the neck, rear naked choke, and like, it's all about what's in your heart. That's why I say fighting is 90% mental and 10% a bit of like your physical ability and your physical fitness, so it's a deterrent, especially, they're most of the times they're big teddy bears. My boys, they're big boys. So I think it doesn't really matter. You know what I'm saying?
Is there anyone that you think, I think they could take me in a fight in the world?
I mean, nobody's invincible. Nobody, I think. There's a lot of good fighters out there. I'm just confident in my abilities to deliver a good fight. There's obviously fights around the world that wouldn't be easy at all, but I'm confident that I would come up on top and in Lethwei ring, because I'm training all the tools that I can, not just like hands, not just kicks. There's a lot of good kickboxing champions in Russia and everywhere, but I'm confident that I'm training the things that would make a difference, that would give me the edge, and of course, like, nobody's invincible. I think it's important to just, and again, if you repeat that, it gives you that little fear to go there, because if you think everything's good, nobody, then you're gonna get you're done. So no, always, especially the hardest thing is to stay on top, because going up, I had nothing to lose. Let's go. I'm just gonna fight, and oh shit, okay, now you're there. Now they have nothing to lose, because you have everything to lose. You have your belts, I think you have to stay hungry, and you have to stay afraid a little bit, afraid of like they're training. There's people training right now to beat you. So 100%. There's a lot of good fighters, but I'm training. So may the best man win.
Yeah. It's refreshing. It's refreshing. Yeah, no, it's refreshing to see someone.
Nobody's gonna get me.
I want to retire on top. Thank you. I want to retire on top. My goal is to there's like my three next fights. I think that's my goal. I'd like to retire after this. They're all different. The Muay Thai champion, but I'm gonna do a rematch with the two other guys. So it's gonna be not easy fights, but I'm gonna give everything.
What's your next steps going to be once you retire? You mentioned about the online. You mentioned about the gym. Is there any other aspects that you really hold close to your heart?
You're gonna laugh, but I want an ice cream shop. I want to open I like ice cream, a sweet tooth. Even in my fight camp, I got an Häagen-Dazs tub. They talk about fitness, but I don't do weight cuts, so I can I feel good. And one of my mentors, a woman, always said, if you want to eat something and it's gonna make you feel good, do it. It's gonna make you, so anyway.
And chocolate chip.
Okay. Me it was cookie dough.
Okay. Well, do you like mint chocolate chip or no?
You like that?
I like it, but
okay.
I determined
okay.
I like the person.
What's the other one? What's the other choice?
Mint chocolate chip, yes or no?
Oh, I to be honest, I don't like the mint too much. But to be honest, I think I want to open a nice. I want to open a lot of ice cream shops. I like that.
I did not expect that coming out.
Yeah, I know. I just say in this, but once all my thing for Lethwei is done, that's something I think I want to open an ice cream empire.
It's refreshing to see as well. If someone's telling me how great they are and they're not at the top, it's kind of like.
Say again.
If someone's telling us how great they are and they're not at the top, it's kind of like, okay, well, we'll see. I admire your confidence, but it's always interesting to speak to someone who's at the top of the game, and then it's nice to see that there is still that because I just thought maybe you have to just constantly be thinking, I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the best, I cannot be beaten. And the fact that
It's dangerous to think like this.
yeah, you use the fear that you can be beaten to make sure you're sharp, to make sure you're always prepared, to
Well
make sure,
said.
and it's a good mentality, because sometimes even like myself is, you know, I don't want to. I feel like if I think about the negative or the potential
Yeah.
consequence, that I'm maybe subconsciously gonna let that manifest. But actually, no, it's good to be aware of it.
Yeah.
To keep you driven to make sure that doesn't happen. You know, to make sure you're the most prepared you possibly can
Well
be.
said. With me, it fuels me. It fuels me. Like you need that. Well said.
There's a book called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. I can't remember the author, and it's really good where they talk about.
That sums it up well. That sums it up
Feel
well.
the fear and do it anyway. There's no actual fail or success. There's just destination A and destination B. If destination B is considered as failure, it's not failure really. It didn't work this time. You shift lane and you try again.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we'll probably wrap it up
Good,
now.
wrap it up.
Yeah,
That's a good one. That's a long one. I like that.
Yeah, I was
So,
expecting to be 30 minutes.
How long were we? Oh shit! People, so people that are still there, props, and
Yeah.
go follow Fitness DXB and King Leduc on Instagram.
Maybe we'll put something at the start
Yeah.
that you get a free Lethwei voucher if you listen to the end.
Yeah, exactly.
No, great. Well,
Hey, thanks for having me, boys.
Pleasure.
Good.
Yeah,
We touch a lot of things that I've never spoke about, like the mentality about it, and I'm getting ready for the fight. We're gonna win this.
Yeah. So make sure you watch him on what was it, Lethwei World?
Lethwei World, yeah.
Lethwei World on Facebook. Yeah, we'll be watching.
Yeah. Thanks,
Smash
boys.
him up.
Good stuff.